This is Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom. This is the only item in my video game collection I care about. As you can see by the lack of wall of games behind me, I never wanted my channel to be about my collection. I wanted to be about the nostalgic memories behind playing video games. And yes, collecting is part of that too, but that's why I don't have a wall of games behind me. But this game right here, I am not married to any other piece of my collection, but I'll never get rid of this. And I'll tell you why later in this video. How are you feeling? You got John Riggs here. I've been buying and selling and trading Nintendo games especially since the 90s. Not counting like with your friends and stuff in school, but when it came to like the internet, mid to late 90s with the Usenet news groups, the AOL chat rooms, that's when I started realizing I may not be able to find these Nintendo games much longer. So I better find all the ones I can find. Any game I don't have, I better grab one. Now I don't have a complete set, and at one time I had over 600 unique ones. Most of the heavy hitters were out of the way. Then I was like, I don't really need a complete set, so I started selling off some of those to some friends who needed to fill their collection. I used that money to buy the parts to make my own like repros and stuff like that. I don't regret selling literally any of it. However, I kept just a few games around for the games that I would want. It's like, I can get rid of most of them, but there's a few that I wouldn't mind keeping, including this one. Bucky O'Hare. Because it reminds me of a time when I could buy games like Bucky O'Hare for only $4.99 when they were liquidating stock at Software, etc. They put the sticker right on the label. I left it on there. And again, I'm not really married to this game, but it's kind of cool to keep around. I love stories like this. And a few other games, in fact, I have them in a couple of small boxes that I kept as a, these are the games I want to keep. If I want to play a game, pop it into the Nintendo Entertainment System, actually play it for a while. Yeah, there's 1,000 ways to play all these games. Like with the NES Classic that's modded, the Mister, the Raspberry Pi, I can play all these games, right? But the actual physical cartridges, I kept in a couple of small boxes that I haven't opened in a few years. So I don't even remember exactly what's all in these. And I'm also not counting the homebrews and repros and stuff like that too. That's going to be in its own category. These are like licensed NES games I want to keep, at least for now. The Flintstones, The Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. Have you seen the price on this one recently? Good lord. Darkwing Duck, another classic. Rescue Rangers 2, because why not? And I don't count these 3 games as my collection or the games that I'm keeping because I'm not keeping them. I already have them promised to other people who are going to pick them up. So I literally had no reason to show you these games except for saying, hey, look at the games I had. It's actually the second time I've had a Flintstones 2. And again, I don't need to keep it because I can play it anytime I want. And I don't need it. And before I get to the couple of small boxes of the NES games I am keeping and why I'm keeping those games, I guess you're going to find out when I open them. I'm not a CIB collector, but I do have a CIB Tengen Tetris just because of the history behind this game, why this game exists. I remember seeing this on store shelves and wanting a copy of it, begging my mom. Of course, I didn't get it. That Christmas rolled around, I got Tetris, but it was the Nintendo version. And as much as I love the Nintendo version, I remember seeing this on the store shelf and being, this is the one I wanted because this was the one I played in the arcade. I played Tetris in the arcade before it came out on NES. Anyway, just a cool piece of video game history, so I like this too, right? Box number 1, let's have a peek. Why are there Super Famicom games in here? Oh, okay. See, I didn't have enough Nintendo games to fill 2 small boxes, so I also filled it with other games, and these are just some Super Famicom games. Completely irrelevant. I was also like buying like one of every wrestling video game ever made, so I have a bunch of wrestling games for the Super Famicom. Anyway, those aside. Which brings me to a first couple of few ones. WrestleMania, Steel Cage Challenge, there's also WCW Wrestling. There was a time I was collecting one of every wrestling video game ever. I kind of lost interest in that, but I still have a bunch of wrestling games laying around. So that being said, I may not actually keep these games specifically, maybe the WCW one, but now that I'm not collecting all the wrestling video games, I don't mind letting these go. So you'll probably see these come up in a Whatnot stream or something soon. Interesting to find Rad Racer in here. I mean, it's fine, but I don't need to keep Rad Racer. So this is another one I'm probably gonna pass along here. Ah, of course. Kid Icarus. This is one I'll definitely be keeping. I love having just like these classic games here. And what's more than just it being Kid Icarus, this is the Crazy Mike's Video Kid Icarus. Crazy Mike's I think was like a Northwest chain. There were a few of them. The one in Yakima was just down the street from my house. It was my most favorite video game store of all time. It was super cool. And this is the literal Kid Icarus I rented from Crazy Mike's Video. When they were liquidating stock, I also bought this one. So there you go. I don't see Contra, but I found Super C. Contra might be in the other box. Contra may be in the other box. I do remember keeping a few things like the Castlevanias, the Mega Mans, the Contras. Again, I don't need it, but I'll hold on to it for now. I don't see Star Tropics, but I found Zoda's Revenge. Is this the box of sequels? Zoda's Revenge, Star Tropics 2, huge fan of Star Tropics. As you can tell by my Star Tropics square painter painting. that I have in literally all of my videos. Sometimes it's a little off-center. It's a game I've been really wanting to play through again. I want to go through Star Tropics 1 and 2 on Twitch sometime soon. So make sure you follow me on Twitch. And the classics. Now, these may not be my original copies growing up, Zelda and Zelda 2. But I talk about those label upgrades. Sometimes I'm at conventions, like trying to find better labels. And so far, these are the two cleanest, shiniest Legend of Zelda copies I could find. So sometimes I would have one, and then I'd find one even cleaner, so I'd buy that one, then sell off my original one and keep the cleaner one. And these ones could still be a little bit nicer, a little bit better. So we'll see how long these last in my collection until I find a cleaner copy. And again, I don't need them CIB, but these ones still play. Last time I played, the battery still worked and everything. Well, that's it for that box. Curious to see what's in this other box. In this other box, these are the only games I'm keeping. Okay, these look familiar. Ah, yeah. So I need to better organize these apparently, but here are the other two wrestling games. We got the WrestleMania Challenge as well as King of the Ring. So all the NES wrestling games taken care of, with the exception of Pro Wrestling. I don't see Pro Wrestling in this box. Interesting. I can find another Pro Wrestling, that's no problem. Just to have the NES wrestling set, you know. Okay, so Contra was in this other box, so I have a copy of Contra. You got Super C, you got Contra, yeah, you're good to go. I'm not as gung-ho about Contra as most of the world is, but I did play this a ton growing up, especially two-player. I have yet to beat this game without doing the 30-man code. I gotta work on that. Maybe that'll be a challenge video in the future. Kirby's Adventure. You know, barely even looking at the box art, it's like, oh, Kirby's Adventure, pop it in directly. I didn't realize he's actually eating the label. Gotta love the Kirby games. All right, I forgot I kept this game. Like I said, a lot of when I say heavy hitters, I mean like $100 plus. And it doesn't have to be like Little Samson, but just games that go for more than they should, right? And I thought I sold them all. I thought I did. But apparently I kept Metal Storm. And not that I'm complaining. Now there is a huge rip at the bottom of the label there. That's too bad. There was probably a sticker on there, like a rental sticker, and took it off and just ripped off. I probably had this game since that label rip. I don't remember. That's how long it's been. Now Retrobit re-released this, so I have the other copy too, but nice to have the original. Again, I don't need this, but it just, I decided to keep it. Because I do like Metal Storm, so that works out fine for me, I guess. Not just Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but the variant as well. I'm a huge fan of Punch-Out. I just love the game. I don't have all the strategies like most people do. I've never knocked out Mike Tyson, or Mr. Dream in this case. But I just feel like it's one of those games that you should have in your NES collection. They still have the sticker on the back of this Punch-Out too. How much do you think I paid for this back in the day? Well, I mean, it's not too bad. $9.99. I have The Adventures of Lolo, as well as Lolo 2. I'm missing Lolo 3. I have no idea where Lolo 3 is. I know I had it, or have had it. Either way, I don't know. Again, huge fan of the Lolo series. I wish they would make a new Lolo game, but these are games I could just pop in and play all over again. It's funny when I'm looking through my own boxes of games and all the games that I should have. Like I have Rescue Rangers, but I don't have DuckTales. And this isn't just Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. This was my copy of Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers when it first came out. There's a few of these games in this box that were like my original childhood games, and this is one of them. I remember keeping this one. Yeah, it's weird that I don't have DuckTales in here. I gotta fix that. I mean, yes, of course I can play DuckTales anyway, but along with Kid Icarus, also have Metroid. You know what, I wonder if that's why I have Rad Racer, because it's like the 3 silver box games or whatever, the silver label games. Metroid, Rad Racer, Kid Icarus. I wonder if that's probably why I still have Rad Racer. It's Metroid. I gotta have Metroid. Not the best condition of a game here, but Maniac Mansion. I loved me some Maniac Mansion. This game has like 8 or 9 endings, and I've found like 5 or 6 of them. I've never done all of them. But there was a time there where I could go through, it's like, which ending do you want? That one? Let's go ahead and play it right now and I'll get you that ending. It's been a long time since I played through this game, so I'll have to re-remember how to play it. At least re-remember how to get to the endings anyway. But that was such a fun game, such a great idea. The fact that I could put this game on an NES cart still blows my mind. I only have a few games left. Here's Castlevania along with Simon's Quest. Simon's Quest apparently sold for $9.99 back in the day. I do have Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. I do have that laying around. I think it's probably right behind me here. I sometimes use Castlevania 3 to test clone systems, but it's not in this box, but I do have a copy of Castlevania 3, and I believe it's right behind me. I don't see it. Oh well, it's somewhere. I wouldn't get rid of it. Some games may surprise you, like Mappyland. I absolutely love Mappyland. I remember when I first saw it and I first played it, I was like, it feels kind of like a kid's game, but it's no kid's game. This game actually has quite a bit of a challenge, and It's mappy, love mappy. Played a ton of this game. I still play it today. Oh god, oh my god, this game's gross. I mean, it's a great game, but look at the cart condition on this one. Clash of Demon Head, which has like, it's like dirt or oil, or it's not what you think it is of the same color, you know what I'm saying? This was another game from Crazy Mike's Video. Not my local Crazy Mike's Video, but it has a Crazy Mike's Video sticker on it, so I think that's why I kept this game specifically and didn't even bother cleaning it up. It still works. It's a game I love. It's a game I've never beaten. I still need to go through this. It's on my forever backlog of games I need to just play all the way through. I love me some Clash of Demon Head. And I remember not too long ago, I picked up a label upgrade for this, and then I think I just sold it on Whatnot or something like that. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I bought that game specifically to upgrade the label. Well, whatever. So now even more so, I'm just going to keep this the way it is. Another game on my backlog I want to play through again, Metal Gear. We have all these Metal Gear Solid games and stuff like that, but it all started with Metal Gear. Actually, it all started with Metal Gear for like the MSX or something like that. I thought the NES version played awesomely. I loved this game. And I would love to play through it again sometime. I don't have Snake's Revenge on purpose. I just think it's a terrible game. I just can't get through it, so. But Metal Gear, I played several times all the way through, and I wouldn't mind doing it again sometime. Maybe on Twitch. More of an uncommon game is Nightshade. Have you played Nightlamp or Nightshade? Love the writing in this game. Love how this game plays. Super, super fun game. I love that kind of point and click style. And just the comedy writing in it just cracked me up the whole time. This is one of those games like, yeah, this is a game I don't want to get rid of. If I can fan it out just fine, it's Mega Man 1 through 6. I gotta have all 6 of the Mega Man games. And these ones specifically because they were my childhood games. And these two specifically because I loved them. I mean, Mega Man 2 came out during the height of like my Nintendo fandom. This was my childhood game, this copy right here. The sticker that it came with is literally still on my alarm clock in the bedroom, along with the sticker that came with Mega Man 3. My alarm clock still works. I've had it since I was 11, back when I just like delivered newspapers. So these ones hold dear, dear, dear place in my heart. And it's just kind of cool. That's like, yeah, this is my childhood copy, right? I only have a few of them, like I said. And Mega Man 6, though, yes, it was the copy that came out when Mega Man 6 came out. This was like when KB Toys and Hobby was liquidating stock, and they had a whole bin of these in front of their store. They were all like, $19.99 each, CIB. Well, of course they were CIB. There were new games back then. Why wouldn't they be CIB? So we got one. And, going back, of course I could have grabbed them all, but still, I just needed one. Oddly enough, I'm missing Mario's like 1, 2, and 3. I don't have those in here. Easy to get, right? I can get them again, easy. But along with the other box, like I said, just a small box of games here. And then a few in that other box too. I mean, it's just stuff. It's just hard copies of games. They come and go. You find them, they're not, like Little Samson, it's not rare. You could buy one right now if you have the money for it. Princess Tomato, The Salad Kingdom, the game, I'll get rid of these boxes of games, no problem. Somebody needs them more than me, no problem. I will never, ever, ever get rid of this game. Even if it came to a point where just circuit boards didn't even work anymore. Didn't matter, it was all garbage, you could just throw it all away. I would still keep this one. I got the wall art here. It's always been on all my videos too. I mean, ever since I got that anyway. The abbreviated version of Princess Tomato, The Salad Kingdom is when I was hunting for video games in the late 90s, because I got to the point where I was like, yeah, emulation is a thing, but I'd rather just have the physical games to play, because I prefer playing them on a TV and not a computer screen. So I'd drive to Seattle all the time, drive to Tri-Cities all the time, kind of like looking through Software Etc., EB Games when they were liquidating stock, even video game stores, getting all the physical games I could find. If there were games I didn't have yet, more often than not, I would just pick it up. And it was a game I rented once upon a time, but I never owned it. And it was the one game I kept searching for, just couldn't find it. And my girlfriend at the time used eBay. I didn't want to go on eBay, but went on eBay, bought it for me for $50. This is $50, 2001. Gifted it to me for Christmas, and we've been married for 20 years. And this game may have had something to do with it. I don't know. I'm sure it didn't hurt. So that's why I love Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom. And I actually like the game. But imagine if it was something else. Imagine if it was like pro sports hockey, or like Rockin' Cats or something like that. I would have had the same story. I would have had the same feelings for like Rockin' Cats if it wasn't Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom. Although, if it wasn't this, I'm sure I would still have this in my collection because the game is just quirky enough that I still love it. That's why I have that sentimental attachment to it. Yeah, I don't have Mario 1, 2, and 3 in my personal collection. I don't have River City Ransom. I probably should. Curious why I don't have Lolo 3, though. I swore I did. But again, I can find another one, not going to be a problem. And that's kind of the purpose of the video, was just to say, I have a few games in my collection that I'm keeping. Other games come and go. I'll get them for a little while. I'll just have them for a little while, and then somebody else will need them, and I'll let them have it for a while, Video games come and go all the time, man. I recently did a video where some of my most favorite NES games were less than $10, so make sure you check out this video. And your worth and popularity isn't your collection. Just be cool and love video games, and you don't have to collect them. You can emulate them. It's fine. It's all about those nostalgic feel-good memories of playing these games, and less about look how much stuff I have. That's me personally. It may not be for everyone, but that's the way I look at it.